one cabinet minister said, "It has been tight but we are on course to win." MPs are this afternoon scheduled to vote on a key amendment to the Prime Minister's EU withdrawal bill made by the House of Lords. The change, opposed by the government, seeks to give MPs and peers a potentially binding vote on the result of talks which rebels hope could be used to block a no-deal outcome and force ministers back to the negotiating table. Leading Tory rebels Dominic Grieve and Anna Soubry yesterday both insisted they would defy party whips by backing the amendment tabled by pro-Brussels peer Lord Hailsham. Giddy, a Tory rebellion over Theresa May's Brexit plans is crumbling, but allies admitted that as few as 5 other Tory MPs were likely to join them, with a significant number of Brexit-backing Labour MPs set to break ranks by supporting the government. At least a dozen Tory rebels were thought to be needed for a government defeat. Ms. Soubry, a former business minister, signalled her defiance with a 3,000-word message published on her Facebook page last night. "I know you're fed up, but we have to get Brexit right," she pleaded to voters. The Proxo MP, who voted to remain in the EU referendum while 52% of voters backed leave, wrote, "Whatever we were told during the referendum, you can't simply unravel 43 years of membership of the EU in a year or two, and getting a new trading deal is far from the simplest of matters as we were assured. I believe Parliament, notably the House of Commons, should have a meaningful vote in the event of us not getting a deal with the EU and Soubry, so for our sakes and the future of our children and grandchildren we have to get this right." She added, "I believe Parliament, notably the House of Commons, should have a meaningful vote in the event of us not getting a deal with the EU. It's not revolutionary and neither does it make me a traitor as I have been called." She insisted she was following the late Winston Churchill, Prime Minister during the Second World War, in carrying out her duty to act in line with her faithful and disinterested judgment. Fellow rebel leader Mr. Grieve yesterday denied claims the Prime Minister could be toppled by a government defeat today. "That is complete nonsense. This is the end stage of the detailed consideration of a piece of legislation," the former Attorney General told the BBC Radio 4 Today programme. "Whichever way the vote ultimately goes, the idea that the government is going to be endangered by this difference of view within the House of Commons which might lead to its defeat is complete nonsense." At the weekend, Mr. Grieve admitted being worried the government could collapse, but claimed the prospect was raised the danger of the negotiations unraveling rather than his attempt at rebellion. Asked whether he still trusted Theresa May, Mr. Grieve said, "I am very conscious that the Prime Minister is in great difficulty. I have known her for very many years, I have a great understanding of some of the problems she faces. I would be very happy if we can resolve this in a way which makes me feel that the trust I always try to place in the Prime Minister is honoured." A spokesman for the Department for Exiting the EU said, agreeing to amendable motions would allow Parliament to direct government on its approach to exiting the EU and so does not meet the reasonable tests set out by the Prime Minister and Brexit Secretary last week. Leading Tory backbench Brexiteer Jacob Rees-Mogg said that the meaningful vote was being used to obstruct Brexit and thwart the referendum result.